Hey guys, welcome back to the singing podcast. My name's Phoenix and I hope you're all doing very, very well today. So today we're going to be talking about how to protect your singing voice because we all know that protecting your singing voice is absolutely crucial for maintaining its health and its longevity. So I'm going to be sharing with you today some tips and techniques to help you do just that. So we're going to crack straight on. Number one is stay hydrated. Now this one might seem really, really obvious, but it is one that a lot of singers who've been doing it a while can often forget to do. So it is really important. Stay hydrated, drink plenty of water to keep your vocal cords lubricated and prevent dryness. Try and avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol as well. I know. I'm just sucking the fun of life out of it, I know. But do try and avoid too much caffeine or alcohol because they can dehydrate your vocal cords. And obviously that is not particularly great if you are a singer. Number two, warm up your voice. Always warm your voice up before singing and cool it down at the end. So I have an episode coming out really, really soon, which goes through all different techniques on how you can warm up and different ways that you can warm up your vocal cords, and it goes down the cooling down process as well. So do look out for that. That will be super, super helpful for you. So just make sure that before you start singing, you engage in gentle vocal warm-up exercises to prepare your vocal cords for the demanding chore that is singing. Number three, here I am again, sucking the fun out of life, but try and avoid smoking. I know that a lot of singers are smokers and, they make it work, but smoking is incredibly damaging to your vocal cords and to pretty much all of your respiratory system. So please try and avoid smoking as much as possible, and also try and avoid air pollution. Now, obviously, I'm very aware that that's not something that you can control to the maximum extent. Obviously, if you live somewhere like I do, like London, air pollution is quite high, but try and kind of make sure that you're staying away from heavily air polluted areas for very long periods of time. So smoking can damage your vocal cords, and exposure to pollutant can irritate them. So obviously we want to try and avoid both of these things if we are looking to be a singer or if we are a professional singer. Number four, rest your voice. This one's really important. Now, I find this one incredibly difficult because I am singing constantly, like all the time. I'm always singing. If I'm not singing, I'm humming. If I'm not humming, I'm chanting away to Disney on the TV. Do you know what I mean? So I find this one really difficult, but resting your voice is super, super, super important if you are a singer. Adequate rest is essential. I cannot explain how essential it is. If you've been using your voice extensively, you need to give it time to recover. It's like any part of your body. Like if you did a marathon, you would spend a few days to a week afterwards resting to let your body catch up, and your voice is no different. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are getting plenty of rest. Number five, using the proper technique. Okay, now this follows on from my last episode where I was talking about singing with a tutor or going to like a singing teacher or something like that. Knowing how to use your voice properly will really help you avoid damaging your voice. So you need to make sure that you're using the proper technique. Learn proper singing techniques from a qualified vocal coach, and it will minimize your strain and tension on your vocal cords. Number six, make sure you're controlling your breathing. Okay, now this one sounds a bit ominous, and I understand. What I mean by that is make sure you're developing a good breath support technique or many good breath support techniques to help reduce the stress on your vocal cords, and it also improves your vocal control as well. If you're learning how to use your breath properly when you're singing, how to conserve breath, when to use breath, when to breathe in the middle of a song, it means that you're going to put less stress on your vocal cords and you're actually going to do less harm to your whole vocal system. Number seven. Okay, so this one's going to be a bit like, what's this got to do with singing? And I will explain myself. But this one is maintain a balanced diet. Okay, now I know it just sounds like I'm being incredibly boring. Please bear with. But Actually, a healthy diet with a variety of fruits and vegetables can actually really help support your overall vocal health, as well as just your general health overall. If you are getting plenty of like fruit and veg and superfoods into your diet, your vocal health will be at the tip top of its game. Okay, number 8, try and avoid excessive coughing or throat clearing. These things can irritate your vocal cords a lot. Okay, we all know that if we've had a cold or we've had like a persistent cough that won't go away, obviously our throat is sore, but it's not just kind of the superficial soreness that we can feel. It actually does a lot of damage to your vocal system. So we need to make sure that we're trying to avoid too much coughing or too much throat clearing. If you are being bothered by like a cough, or you feel like you constantly have something stuck in your throat, instead try sipping water, or you can get some really, really awesome throat lozenges now that are for singers, are for performers that use their voice a lot. So maybe try using those instead of constantly trying to clear your throat by coughing. Number 9, limit vocal abuse. Now this one, it sounds really funny, and I know what it sounds like, but what I mean by that is shouting or screaming or speaking too loudly for extended periods of time. All of that can put a massive strain on your vocal cords and your vocal system. Try and avoid too much kind of high-pitched shouting or high-pitched screaming. Instead, use amplification, which is obviously we use that by projection or using our diaphragm. If you do need to shout, or you are at a gig, or you're somewhere very, very loud, obviously as a performer, we know how to use our diaphragm, we know how to project. So think about it that way. Instead of doing everything from your throat, try using your projection from your diaphragm. Okay, number 10. So this one kind of goes hand in hand with what I said in the last episode about steaming your voice. So this one is humidify the air around you. So for this one, you can use a humidifier in your living space to keep the air moist, especially during like really cold weather or dry seasons like summer when it's really, really hot. And steaming your voice can do exactly the same thing as this, and you can get voice steamers online and they're pretty cheap, and it just kind of makes sure that your vocal system and your vocal cords aren't drying out, and it kind of goes hand in hand with keeping your throat and your vocal system hydrated. Okay, so number 11 is one that not many people think about, and this one is manage your stress. Now, stress can affect your voice quality more than you know, okay? Practice relaxation techniques and it will help keep your vocal cords relaxed. So for me, I quite like deep breath techniques or meditation or like gentle humming and stuff like that. So if you practice relaxation and you practice your self-care and you manage your stress, your vocal cords will actually really thank you for it. Okay, number 12. So this one kind of goes hand in hand with avoiding excessive coughing or clearing your throat. This one is rest your voice when you're sick. Now, I really struggle with this one because I hate it when I'm ill and I can't sing. Obviously, singing is my life. I'm a performer. I'm a singer. That's what I do. It's all of my socials. It's my professional life. It's my career. Obviously, it's incredibly difficult when you have got singing in your veins to rest your voice. But obviously, when you're sick, it is super, super, super important to rest your voice until you're fully recovered. If you don't rest your voice, all that's going to happen is you're just going to damage your throat even further, and you're going to damage your voice even further, and then it means that you can't sing for even longer, and nobody wants that. So just make sure that you are taking time out to rest your voice when you are ill. Number 13, monitor your environment. Now, this one is a bit of a strange one because by this I mean be aware of any allergens that may affect your vocal cords and reduce the exposure to that when possible. So, for example, if you get hay fever like I do, try and avoid being anywhere where there's too much of like a high pollen count when you are going to be singing, because obviously allergens really affect your vocal cords and your vocal system, and you want to try and avoid anything that's going to irritate that as much as possible. Obviously, with hay fever, it is incredibly difficult because as soon as you step outside, pollen just attacks your face. And I understand. But there's things that loads of people are allergic to. Some of these, obviously, hay fever we've touched on. You've got dust, you've got smoke, you've got pollutants in the air. So any of this stuff, just try and make sure that you're avoiding those as much as humanly possible. And number 14, this one is don't be a hero. And I've seen this happen so many times with professional singers. They get like a slight niggle with their voice and they just leave it and they'll just power on. This one, seek professional help. Okay, if you experience persistent voice problems or you have any little niggle with your voice whatsoever that you're concerned with or that's annoying you or that won't go away, make sure you're going to a doctor or a laryngologist or a therapist for guidance and treatment. And by therapist, I don't mean counsellor, I mean voice therapist. Those things exist. Google it if you feel like you might need it. But make sure that you are asking for help from a professional that actually deals with these things, because problems with your voice can get nasty really quickly if you leave them. So it's better just to attack it head on. If you've got even the slightest little issue that is bothering you, make sure you're getting it checked out. All right, guys, that is it for me today. And remember, guys, these are just a guide, okay? These tips are just a guide. They are not like 100% foolproof, gonna work for everyone, you know, things that everyone needs to do. But these are just some tips that I've put together to kind of help you guys protect your voice. And I also want you to remember that every singer is different and every singer is unique and every singing voice is unique. So every single singing voice, every single person is going to need to do different things than everyone else to protect their voice. And it's up to you to do that trial and error and really work out what kind of protection you need for your own voice. So yeah, make sure that you're tailoring these tips to your specific needs. Make sure you are consulting a vocal professional for personalised advice and training. They will help you to use your voice properly. That's probably my most important tip out of all of this, is make sure you are learning how to use your voice properly. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. I've really loved chatting to you guys again. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Come and find me on the socials and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.